Tonight's forum is being translated for our Spanish-speaking residents and being broadcast live on Channel 8 and on the city's website. Our format for tonight's event is as follows. First, we will have opening remarks from each candidate. Then the majority of the evening will consist of a candidate question and answer. Tonight's questions were solicited from members of the city's boards, commissions, Cultivando, Commerce City Chamber of Commerce, the Commerce City Business and Professional Association. In the back of the room, we have index cards and pens for our audience members, and a volunteer will walk around collecting the cards. Due to the time constraints, not every question submitted may be asked tonight. The forum will conclude with closing remarks from each candidate, and at the conclusion of the forum, there will be a 30-minute meet and greet reception with the candidates out in the atrium of the Civic Center. There is a timer in front of the dais for the candidates to view. A buzzer will sound at the end of your time, and in fairness to all candidates, you must stop speaking when the buzzer goes off. We ask audience members to be respectful of all our candidates and hold any applause unless instructed and not make verbal commentary. As a reminder, please silence any mobile device and step outside the room if you need to. Before we begin, let's welcome our 2019 City Council candidates with a round of applause. We will now begin with opening remarks. Each candidate will have 1 minute for their opening remarks. We will begin from the left side of the dais and go in order all the way down. Candidates will state their names and the seat for which they are running, and then their 1 minute time limit will start. Mr. DuPriest, you may begin.
My name is John DuPriest, and because I feel that Commerce City Council has shown poor judgment on some important issues, I'm running to represent the 4th Ward. We deserve better. We all have an interest in this community, and the council should put our interests first and foremost. Oil and gas activities should only be allowed in areas that are far from our neighborhoods and schools. As Commerce City continues to grow, we need to make sure that we continue to be a good place to live and raise a family. As we grow, we need to strive to make home ownership attainable for not just the affluent, but for the working middle class too. We also need more places to shop and eat and relax. We need more places where we can both earn money and spend money. Small businesses need to be encouraged and supported in Commerce City. If we work together, we can make sure that Commerce City continues to be a great place to live and work and raise a family, even as it grows. As a community, we can meet the challenges facing us and build a quality community for a lifetime. Again, my name is John DuPriest, and I would appreciate your vote on November 5th. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm June. I'm running for Ward 2. As our city continues to grow, I want to make sure Ward 2 has a strong voice for our concerns down in the core city, like road maintenance and safety, redevelopment of the former dog track, and the public health and safety of our residents as we deal with the issues facing us with an ever-growing homeless or camper population. I am a lifelong resident with deep roots in our community and a former reporter-editor who has worked with city councils across the Metro North area for almost 30 years, 11 years here in Commerce City. I know what it takes to be on council since I had to read the same packets they received and sit through countless hours as councils across the metro area had to tackle some of the most difficult issues. The only difference was I didn't get to vote. It's that experience and the background knowledge of our city through serving on boards and commissions that I believe I am the best candidate for Ward 2.
Okay, thank you. We'll go back to Maria.
I'm so sorry that I was late. My name is Maria Gonzalez, and I'm running for Commerce City Mayor. Because I have been a grassroots community leader for the last 28 years, I have grown my business, community gardening, and a nonprofit organization that services small businesses within Commerce City. I have been growing economic and community development for many years already. I am involved I have worked for Commerce City for the last 10 years, where I learned about how city government works. And this is an opportunity for me to give back into the community. And I have listened to many of the concerns that citizens have had throughout the years, and I believe it is time for someone that can represent all of those needs for all of the entire community. Like you, I want a welcoming and prosperous city. As the only woman in this race, I want diversity and inclusion. I seek your support to be part of the change, and together, let's move Commerce City forward.
Okay. Thank you. Lucy? Molina?
Okay, she's running late.
Oh, okay. Renee?
Okay.
Bullock.
Good evening. My name is Renee Bullock, and I'm running for mayor in Commerce City. I have served this city in many roles throughout my 35 years here. As mayor, I want to serve with a council that has the courage to do the impossible, to protect the citizens and our environment to the greatest extent of the law, to responsibly maximize our opportunities to increase home, retail, and commercial development throughout the city, to be pro-business and work to drive economic development in a way that will benefit Commerce City residents, to improve and expand our transportation systems, to strengthen, diversify, inclusiveness, and our sense of community, to create vibrant and safe neighborhoods, to strongly support our police, fire, water districts, and also school districts, to ensure that the city is fiscally responsible and prepared in order to endure any uncertain future. In this mayor's race, history matters, experience matters, and integrity matters. And I'm the person to do this, and I would appreciate your vote on November 5th.
Okay. Megan? Oh, okay, Steve. Steve Davis.
Good evening. My name is Steve Davis. I'm running for Ward 4. I'm a lifetime Colorado resident, born and raised here, and I've been in Commerce City since 2012. I'm running again. I'm currently the Ward 4 councilman in Commerce City, and I'm running again to continue the hard work that this council has done. One thing I learned when I joined this council, it's not as easy as it looks. It's very difficult, and there's some very difficult decisions. Some of my primary goals are public safety. I've been a police officer in Colorado for over 41 years, and I know the value of a good, strong police department to keep our community safe. We have one. We need to keep working on it and make it stronger. Economic development, always an issue with any town. That is something that I've watched our staff work very hard on, but there's a lot more work to be done. Infrastructure and roads for future growth in Commerce City. We can build all the houses we want. We got to make sure the infrastructure and the roads are there. And then old and new Commerce City. This is not Reunion. This is not Old Town. This is Commerce City, and that's what I'd like to focus on. Thank you.
Okay. Lucy, do you want to go on right now, or do you want to?
Buenas noches. Sorry?
Your opening remarks would be now.
At the end is fine.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Apologies.
Okay, Jennifer?
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Allen Thomas, and I'm running for Commerce City Council, Ward 2. I'm a family nurse practitioner, and I work for the state of Colorado for the Department of Regulatory Agencies. I am running for Commerce City Council because I want to make sure all the residents of Commerce City and employees that work in Commerce City continue to have a healthy environment. I also want to make sure that all the students in Commerce City receive a quality education no matter what part of Commerce City they live in. And I want to continue to make sure that there is affordable housing in all of Commerce City, and especially for our senior citizens. I have lived in Commerce City my entire life, and I proudly say I am Commerce City proud, Commerce City made. And I would appreciate everyone to get out and vote and get those ballots in before November 5th and by November 5th. Thank you for your support.
Okay. Thank you. Roger?
Thank you. My name is Roger Japp. I am running for the candidate at large position First, I want to thank the Adams County League of Women Voters for hosting and moderating this event tonight. I have several priorities that are important to me for Commerce City. I've been a resident of Commerce City for the past 5 years, and I've seen the growth that has been occurring in Commerce City since the early 90s. Some of those priorities include strong economic development, focusing on small business support and creation in both the core south part of Commerce City as well as the northern range. Transparency in all parts of government, including special districts as well as city council. Public safety, I've been a paramedic for the past 26 years and a police officer for 9 years, and I believe in strong public safety and a strong police department. As well, I believe that we have serious issues facing this council. We must elect representatives that will work for all of Commerce City and not just special interests. We must elect representatives that will listen. Council members who will... Thank you. I appreciate your support.
Ramon?
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming and attending this very important forum. My name is Ramon Alvarado, and I'm running for City Council at large. The reason why I'm running for City Council is because there's a void at the council currently in regard to financials. I have 20-plus years of financials working for S&P 500 companies. I currently work for the Department of Revenue as the Deputy Budget Director. I hold 3 masters working at my doctorate, and all that has given me a lot of experience internationally how to actually problem solve for the real problems that cities or any organization could actually confront. Now, all that would not have been possible if I didn't grow up in a community, in a city community that gave me that support. I grew up in a mobile home with 3 brothers. I also played Little League baseball. Now, if it wasn't for that support of that community, I probably would not be here in front of you today. So I want to give back to what the community has given back to myself and also to my family. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Steve Douglas?
Okay. Thank you, everyone. My name is Steve Douglas. I'm currently in my 8th year of my 2nd term as your at-large councilman. I'm a hardworking 42-year UFCW union member. I'm running because we need a mayor with bold ideals. Commerce City has big challenges around transportation, air quality, and other growing pains. Right now, Commerce City is the fastest growing city in Colorado with 2 families of 4 moving in every day. My plans for Commerce City will include innovative thinking. As your next mayor, I want to include everyone going forward. That means I will not be silent on climate change, clean water, homelessness, Suncor emissions, red flag law, neighborhood fracking, immigration issues, including our Latino community, metro districts, and affordable, attainable, and low-income housing, responsible development. I will also get rid of the good old boy system, and I will never be held accountable to any special interests. We must have someone who will be bold on all actions, and that is why I'm running to be the next mayor of Commerce City. And I ask you to join me because now is the time for change because there is no alternative.
Oh, good. Okay, Gene Leffel.
Yeah, my name's Gene Leffel. I think a lot of you probably recognize me. This will be my 7th candidate forum, 7th time I've run. I've been here in the city for 40 years, and I'm one of those seniors that's worried about senior housing. Also, business owner-operator. I'm employing 30 people at my business right now. We open tomorrow night at the Haunted Junkyard. I've got a lot of time on my hands throughout the year. I'm retired. I have time to do this job. I've attended personally over 500 city council meetings, over 500 study sessions, countless budget retreats, planning retreats, and every other imaginable kind of meeting that they've had. People want to talk about experience. 40 years, raised my family here, my sons still live here, and I want to help the city. I want to pay back to the city. For my time here has been very nice for me, and I would like to see it nice for others as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Benjamin?
Good evening. Benjamin Huseman, running for mayor of Commerce City. I sat up here and prepared a speech, but I'm going to deviate from that because I think I have something that's a little bit more important to say. I listened to everybody up here talking about their roots to the community, and I understand I don't have those roots. I was born in Long Beach. My father was in the Navy towards the end of the Vietnam War. I was born there at the Naval Hospital. When he got out of the Navy, He took the first job he could at a steel shipyard there in San Diego. So I grew up in San Diego. After high school, joined the Air Force. Retired from the Air Force about 5 years ago at the rank of E8, rank held by only 2% of the enlisted force. That doesn't mean I don't have Colorado roots myself. I just don't talk about them. My birth mother, my grandfather are buried on the eastern plains of Colorado. I would have been a Colorado resident had my dad not been in the Navy. I come with the ideas that I have achieved and gained from traveling the world for 20 years, seeing how different communities operate. And it is time for a new dawn in Commerce City, and I ask for your support. Thank you.
Okay. Susan, why don't we skip down to you? Susan Noble.
Hi, I'm Susan Noble. I'm running for the Ward 4 seat. It's really wonderful to see all of you here and to see new faces as well as many people who are familiar to me. This is a very consequential election. It will determine Commerce City's future. My priorities are supporting the health and safety of residents over special interests, reining in metropolitan districts, keeping our schools and streets safe, our water clean, our air clean. I want a city council that is transparent and accountable. And more than anything, I want every decision that's made by the city council to be grounded in the city's motto, quality community for a lifetime. I hope I can earn your vote tonight. Thank you.
Mike Flores.
Hello, my name is Mike Flores. I am a fourth-generation Commerce City resident running for Council Ward 4. As a resident of this community, I would like to collaborate with current business owners and residents to create and maintain a thriving community. I would like to see some change, and I am committed to finding a solution. Some of the things I am interested in change is improvement of our air quality, more opportunity for recycling within our community, including yard waste, improvement of our public safety within our community and on our roads, and most of all, we somehow need to find a solution to reduce the Reunion Metro tax. Thank you.
Paul Solano.
Hello, everyone. I am Paul Solano. I'm running for Commerce City Mayor. I'm a 65-year resident of Commerce City, graduated from Adams City High School in 1971, served in the U.S. Navy, graduated from Metro State University, attended the University of Denver Law School, and completed my master's curriculum at the University of Colorado School of Public Administration. I worked in consumer rights and personal injury law, representing clients against insurance companies who wrongly deny clients benefits when injured in work and automobile accidents. The same year, in 2013, I was elected and sworn in as RTD director, where I represented 200,000 constituents and served 6 years. I served on the RTD board during the $5 billion build-out of the Fast Tracks commuter rail project, which at the time was the largest public transportation project in the country. I was selected by my peers to serve as secretary of the board, where I monitored a $5 billion budget spent on large capital projects. My vision for Commerce City is a holistic approach to development.
Okay. I can't see you. Megan?
Sorry. Just want to see it. Good evening. My name is Megan Grimes, and I'm one of your candidates for an at-large council seat. I've been a resident of Colorado for nearly 12 years, and my husband and I have called Commerce City home for nearly 5. Before moving to Colorado, my family moved often. We lived in many small towns all over the United States. And part of what drew me to Commerce City was the small town feel that it still has despite its actual size and growing population. I went to a small college that fostered the same type of close-knit community among faculty and students. And I'm a first-generation college graduate, and that's something that I'm really proud of. My involvement with Commerce City began when I served on the Oil and Gas Focus Group earlier this year. I have since come to nearly all city council meetings, many study sessions, as well as the budget retreat. I was raised to hold honesty and integrity with the highest of regard and believe that accessibility is a cornerstone to serving our community. And I hope that I can earn your vote this evening.
Okay, thank you. Is our timer not? Gabriel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is J. Gabriel Montañez. I'm running for city council at large. I'm honestly just a concerned citizen who decided to get involved. I ran for city council 12 years ago when I was a much younger man, and I decided to take another swing at it. Our city needs to be hearing our voices, and when I say our voices, I'm saying the everyday citizen. I'm feeling like a lot of our decisions are being made without our voices being heard. Even when they are heard, in terms of even the oil and gas, they're overlooked and things are pushed through anyway. So I'm just here so I can try to make a difference for everyone in the community. I'm very dedicated, I'm very passionate. I was just recently endorsed by the American Federation of State, state, county, and municipal work employees. So that was a very big endorsement. They're one of the biggest unions in the country. So yeah, I'm just here for the everyday person. Thank you.
And Lucy.
Buenas tardes. Good evening. My name is Lucy Molina. I am a single mother of 2 children. I am really involved in my school district. I'm part of the DAC. I'm also part of the cultural council here. I have been working with my neighbors, Thornton, Aurora. I've done this all my life. I'm a community activist. I've worked in legislation already, like working with the driver license, Licencias para Todos, Senate Bill 252. Some of my issues, homelessness, leaving nobody behind. We are a growing city. So environmental issues. We do have a lot of environmental issues here, which is environmental and economic oppression that Commerce City has gone for years. I do thank our current city council and former city council for the work that they have done. I would like to be part of the future. So my name is Lucy Molina. I live in South Commerce City. God bless you, and I hope that I can earn your vote. Gracias.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We have a variety of questions for our city council. Oh, okay. We have a variety of questions for our city council candidates. Given the number of candidates in the field, not all will be answering the same questions. Please direct your remarks to the moderator and audience. We will not be engaging in a debate or with any other candidates. Candidates will have 45 to 60 seconds, probably more like 60 seconds, to provide their answers with exception of 2 lightning rounds, which will be a yes or no response. Are we doing that? No, we're not doing that. Okay. Do you want me to go ahead and choose? Okay. All candidates should be asked the following 3 questions. So I may intersperse these with some of the other questions that we have here. I'll read the 3 questions. You can be thinking about them as we go on. If you could accomplish 3 things during your term in office, what would they be? What do you think your role as a city is as a city council member? And what does the ideal Commerce City look like to you? Okay, I think let's start with Megan, and we'll go down and we'll take that first question. If you could accomplish 3 things during your term in office, what would they be?
Thank you.
And you've got a minute.
Okay, thank you. This is a tall order, but the 3 things that are, I think, really pressing issues for Commerce City, I think our public safety is number 1 for me. We need to really make sure that we're putting the resources into our public safety department, into our police officers, into technology, and whatever equipment they need to really protect our citizens. And that's something that I would advocate for, is funding for that area. I want them to be able to keep us safe as well as themselves when they're out defending and protecting our community. Something else that I think is really important right now is we're growing really, really fast, and so residential, commercial, and industrial development are all happening. For me, it would be making really sound decisions based on the needs and desires of our community that make sense for our community in terms of growth going forward. And this is a sticky, thank you.
Okay. Paul, three things you would like to accomplish during your term in office.
Sure, thank you. Commerce City has historically been a victim to exposure to high levels of pollution, whether from the Rocky Mountain Arsenal in the past and now Suncor Energy. Little has been done by state and Commerce City government to address the issues of hydrogen, cyanide gas, and other dangerous pollutants blown into the air above Commerce City. Second, growth needs to be inclusive, and housing policies should benefit residents and not real estate developers. Commerce City needs affordable housing, rentals, down payment assistance programs, and counseling. 3, loan fund programs have dwindled, and unfortunately, the focus has been on subsidizing large projects and new metro districts. They benefit large developers and big box stores and franchises and not small business development. Small new startups have a difficult time trying to compete for a piece of the pie. My commitment is to make sure the city creates greater opportunities for business growth.
Okay. Gabriel.
For me, the three big issues that I would attack are oil and gas. As far as oil and gas goes, I would try to get rid of it and try to turn the corner and take us in a green direction. Thinking of solar, wind, any other option than oil and gas. We're already indebted to Suncor as it is, and I don't think we should be, per se, getting into bed with oil and gas even more. Beyond that, the second part, the biggest part for me, I think would be bringing the northern part and southern part of Commerce City together more. I just think there's a big opportunity with the Derby area to redevelop that, revitalizing the core part of the city, and again, just bringing the whole city together as one big, strong community, I think will make a big difference as far as public safety and a lot of those other issues go. Those seem to fade away once we build a better community.
Okay. Mike?
Excuse me. Three things I hope to accomplish if elected. Improving the public safety. So one of my concerns is we are a thriving community. We are growing in numbers, and I drive for a living, and I see it a lot. I see our trucking industries running red lights, yellow lights, creating a public safety issue. I hope to collaborate with some of the law enforcement to try to improve our safety on our roads. I hope to improve the safety within our communities. With that being said, we need more resources. We need more troops on the ground. How do we do that? You know, Reunion only has four officers. We need more.
Susan?
Yes, thank you very much. My three priorities that I would do would be sustainable wages, sustainable jobs in sustainable businesses, which means that we would not invite oil and gas activity into residential areas or Commerce City, period. I would want to ensure, as I mentioned earlier, that whenever we're making a decision, we know the answer to, does this make us a quality community for a lifetime? And I would ensure that this city communicates with the entire city, north to south, on any issues that are before the city council, that there is a full understanding and debate about what is occurring. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Benjamin?
Thank you. In no particular order, one of my first priorities is to get us off metro districts. We have to quit approving service plans on metro districts and continue to allow that development to take place that is just going to just burden the homeowner for generations to come. That has to stop. Next up, I am committed to non-residential development. The commercial and the retail, the lack of commercial and retail we have north and south is absolutely killing us. The leakage that we are having, the sales tax revenue that we are losing to our neighbors is just unconscionable, and we have to put an end to that. And that does include the small business, which is why in the 2020 budget year, I pushed for that small business revolving loan fund to allow us to have money that we can help to start up these small businesses so we can have the mom and pop shops that we need here in Commerce City. And then lastly is unity. Believe it or not, I spent a little bit of time on social media, and it really disheartens me whenever I see the Facebook groups that are out there pitting one section of the city against each other. We have to get away from that and start developing unity. Thank you.
Okay. Dean.
I'd like to see a better utilization of the dog track here. We bought that thing. We haven't done anything with it but grow a bunch of weeds out there. I think we could do a little better, not to mention it's costing us a lot of tax revenue having nobody there. Another thing I think is way past due is we need some decent restaurants that are actually open around here. We lost the Casa del Rey here just recently. We're running short on good restaurants. Everybody's got to eat, and I don't like cooking. So I think we need some better restaurants. And I'd say, in general, a better quality of life, especially for the senior citizens. Like it or not, we'll probably all get old, and you want to have a place to go and something to do when that happens. And while I don't think it's the city's obligation to provide all kinds of activities, I think we could do better, especially regarding senior housing and transportation ability for seniors within our city. So decent restaurant, do something with the dog track, and make sure everybody's having a good time while they're here. Thank you.
Okay, Steve.
Yes, being the city council for the last 8 years, Commerce, I've sat on with my colleagues, and we've done a great job as far as improving the infrastructure in Commerce City. But we failed to support our low and working class. I would strive to look at increasing the minimum wage in Commerce City. I know that's going to be a tall task. Include our Latino community. Right now, this year, our Memorial Day parade we had the prayer in Spanish and English, and I think we need to do more than that because they are a huge makeup of our population. I'd say it's oil and gas, emissions, our air quality is poor. We're in a non-attainment area right now. We need to change that. And so Suncor is a big contributor to that, so thank you.
Okay. I can't read. Ramon.
Thank you. So I'm going to break it into small, medium, and large. The small things I think we could do right away is actually get rid of straws and plastic bags in our city. I think a lot of cities are doing it. I'm not sure why we can't do that. So that's a small one, I would think. A medium would be that we need to promote small businesses. Small businesses are the engine to a lot of cities. Currently, we rely on about 23% of our tax dollars coming in sales and use tax from about 10 businesses. So therefore, we need to promote more small businesses. Not only do we need to promote them, we also need to give them the tools, the programs available so that could be sustainable. The large goal for me would be to actually improve our educational system. I'm very, very concerned about education here in Commerce City. I want to do everything possible as a council member to actually either create a trade school for those high school students who are not able to go to college, but also don't leave every student behind. We need to actually focus more on our education here in Commerce City. Thank you.
Okay. Roger.
Thank you. So my three echo what some of my colleagues up here on the dais have said tonight. First off, being small business. My spouse and I recently, actually for the last 2 years, have been trying to open up a small business in Commerce City. It's just unattainable because of the cost of real estate and taxes. And when we come to the city economic development department, the exact words were, good luck. That's all we can offer you is good luck and prayers. So we need to do something more for small business development creation. We need to revitalize Derby and capture those tax dollars that we're losing. Secondly is public safety. We need to increase the size of the police department. We need more officers on the streets. We need to pay them better. And third would be transparency. We need transparency in all government entities operating in Commerce City, the city council, the school districts, the special districts, the library district, all special districts, and the city council especially.
Jennifer?
Thank you. The three things I would like to accomplish when I'm on city council is, first of all, like I said, I can't stress enough, being a family nurse practitioner, I want to make sure that all residents and employees working and living in Commerce City have a healthy environment in which we live in. We're affected by so many things affecting us, so that's my top priority. My second thing that I would like to accomplish, and a big priority, is that every student, as I said, receives a quality education. This means uniting the school boards with city council and getting all of our schools out of turnaround. My third biggest accomplishment is getting the development of the Mile High Greyhound Park and the area developed across or over in this area at Dick's Soccer Stadium, and making sure that there is affordable housing on both the north and the southern area of Commerce City. Thank you.
Okay, Steve?
Thank you. My three, I can't do the last two without the first one. The first one is infrastructure, but my infrastructure is a little different. If you try to get out of Commerce City in any direction, short of our new Pena Boulevard, it's tough. Vasquez, 270, parking lots in the morning, parking lots at 5 o'clock, as we all know. 120th and I-25 and 104th. We've been talking in city council about doing flyovers for there over the railroad tracks. We all know what happens when that train sits there, and we sit there for 2 hours, sometimes 45 minutes. Next would be to connect the history with North and South. We can't do that unless we can travel around North and South. There's a lot of history. We have a great historic society that's working hard to make sure that that is combined not only with Old Town history, but with the new history we're making up south. I also think that community festivals, like Maria had earlier this summer, I mean, we don't have a Harvest Fest. We have the Christmas Fest, but the Harvest Fest in cities would be huge here. And I didn't finish. Thank you.
Renee?
Okay, thank you. My three, echoing Steve here, my first one would be transportation. We have a lot of natural barriers in Commerce City that just stop us from going anywhere. We have 270 on the south, and we go as far as up to I-76 on the north. And in between those roads, any given time, you can be on 6 and 85, and it's back to all the way up from 69th down to 60th. Just like he said, 270 is a parking lot. What we need to do is improve our transportation. My second one would be inclusiveness. We have diversity in this city, but we don't include everybody in this diversity. They're here, but they're invisible. And people see them, but they aren't included in this city. We need to include everyone. My third one would be economic development. There are great ideals we have with economic development, and I will talk on them later.
Lucy, let's go to you.
Wow, three. So affordable housing, definitely. The homelessness issue that we're dealing, the transportation, being part of crime at Joyeria Londra. We lost our boss a few years ago. They shot him 9 times at the store. So yeah, crime prevention, public safety is really important here in our community. Priority for me, really, as a single parent, is housing, affordable housing. In the South, we have a lot of single parents and families that are sharing maybe 3 families in one household. I would like to see development without displacement, and be careful about gentrification. So those are some of the issues that I would immediately start, and inclusiveness, definitely, and educating myself further in the needs of this community. Gracias.
Maria?
The first three things that I would like to accomplish, number one would be promoting this safe sense of belonging, making sure that Commerce City residents, regardless where they live, they feel confident, they feel welcome, that they are inclusive, that we have this outreach that is improving, that we are transparent and inclusive, restoring pride in our community. Number two, I believe that we are lacking technical education. We do not have a place to look for the pipeline for our workforce development. We need to create that is tangible, that is doable, and that is going to set us in the next generation of labor and trade, and that's going to be supporting our growth. And the third, planning a structure for the next 30 years. Think about, the housing that we need, the economic development that we need, all of the transportation, the light rail, the housing, preventing all of these homeless situations that we currently have, making sure that we all move forward to the same direction so that 30 years we have a great quality community for all.
Thank you. John will go around the back, so John can go next.
Okay, the three things that I would like to accomplish, three of the things I would like to accomplish, right? There are plenty more than three. We need to implement solid rules around oil and gas extraction that protects the health of our residents, but also allows drilling in the appropriate areas. I want to foster the growth of small businesses in the Old City as well as in the Northern Range. And we need to manage residential and economic growth, not forgetting the core cities. There are opportunities for growth in the Old City. The growth in the north will continue to boom. We need to be sure that we don't leave the Old City behind. Thank you.
Okay. Can't see who's back.
June.
June.
I guess I'm short. My three top concerns that I would be working on would be our roads and transportation system. It's just to connect from the north to the south. If you go on RTD on the bus, it takes 2 hours. This is the same time that it takes my son to go from Commerce City to DU every day. So I would say that we need to start working with RTD and making a local bus route between the two areas and make sure that that fare is also local. I would also do some deterrence to slow down traffic. We have some major speeding issues on our main arterial streets. So we need to do something so that our children do not get hit, or even our adults. Or even get more patrol along those main arterial roads. The second thing would be public health and safety.
Okay. Maybe you can finish up in your minute at the end.
Okay.
Evening. Okay, now I'm going to scatter some questions around. You won't all get the same question. If you don't get a question that you wanted to answer, once again, maybe you can do that at the end of the evening. There are so many of you that it's going to be difficult for everybody to say everything they wanted to say, so. We'll start with, let's start with Gabriel. And the question is, what qualifies you to serve on city council?
Thank you, Susan. I had a malfunction there. I think what qualifies me to be on city council is that, again, I feel like I'm part of that voice that's not heard, that aren't included, and I think there's a lot of us that feel that way. I am college educated. I work in the financial industry at Denver Human Services as a staff assistant. So I think there's many things financially that qualify me, but I think at this level for me, it's being able to communicate with the people and knowing what everybody needs and wants. And I think that, again, just being in tune with the normal everyday person is just something that we're missing, that we're lacking, and following through with that commitment to letting our voice be heard and not turning away from what the community wants.
Okay. Paul, there's a question from the audience here about RTD. Would you like to address that?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead. Paul?
What is the question?
Oh, what is the future for the RTD?
Okay, the future for RTD is, we completed the commuter rail to the airport. That was a big project, which I was a big part of. And I saw the contract to the commuter rail North Metro project, which was a $567 million project, which I had a big input in. When I was first elected to the RTD board, there was no rail line going north. And one of my promises to my constituents was I would get a contract for the North Metro. And within my first term, I was able to do that. And I want to see it to fruition. And once it's done, I want to see transit-oriented development around the station, which is at approximately Colorado Boulevard and 64th approximately. I want to see developers come in and develop that area with retail, homes, etc. Right now, it's a blighted area, and I'd like to see that developed soon.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Megan, what is the one park and recreation amenity that our community is missing that you would like to see in Commerce City?
You know, I would really like to see tennis courts. I look around and I played tennis in college, and I look around our community, and there really isn't a good spot to do that. There's high school courts, but I'd like to see us develop that, and if I may add one additional one, an outdoor lap pool that's open to all neighborhoods rather than just inside of certain neighborhoods.
Okay. Susan, what plans or values do you have around working inclusively with Commerce City's large Latino community?
Could you please repeat the question?
What plans or values do you have around working inclusively with Commerce City's large Latino community?
It's not, I don't have a plan because it's part of my being. That is who I am. I see myself as an inclusive person, and I always need to learn every day, of course, from my friends who are in other populations. But I think it's incredibly important. Commerce City has a very, we don't have a minority population. We have a half and half population, if you will. And all voices need to be heard, all voices need to be included, and everyone is important when we're making decisions. So I would welcome anyone helping me with a plan, but as I see it, it's a way of being every day and with every decision that you make.
Okay. Mike? What do you see the city of Commerce City becoming 20 years from now?
Geez, that's a good question. Hopefully thriving more so than what it is now. I really don't know. I really don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
I hope to see that we come together, north and south. I hope to see, the diversity continue to grow.
Let's see, Benjamin? Serving on city council is at least a 20-hour per week job, including day and evening commitments. Are your present commitments flexible enough to allow you to dedicate this time to serve on council?
Great question. I think I answered that 2 years ago. I currently serve on council, so I'm able to provide that commitment. Truthfully, I have missed some meetings because of my work commitments that I had in the past. Recently, actually, I received a promotion at work, and that's changed up my schedule and allowed me to dedicate more time to fulfilling my responsibilities and not missing meetings like I was in the past. Because I work from home, whenever I'm not traveling on a project, I have extra time to actually go off and do council things during the day and make those special trips and those special functions that a lot of events come up during the day and able to do. So like I said, for the last 2 years, I've managed it. I continue to manage it. Have a great support structure, a very loving wife who does a great job of raising our daughter while I'm out of town, and I'm able to balance that. And even on trips, whenever I do end up having to go out, I'm still able to continue to be engaged and continue to execute my responsibilities. So thank you.
Okay. Dean, what do you see as the biggest challenge facing the city, and how would you change it?
Well, I think one of our biggest challenges is really economics. We need more money. How are you going to change that? You got to bring in more businesses, sales tax revenue, use revenue that is generated by industrial operations and small businesses. That's where we can get the money. You can combine that with giving people the stuff that they want. Big box retail, we have not much choice there. Back to the restaurant thing, we're losing them pretty quick and we need more. So I think what we need to do is get more money coming into our city as opposed to going out. People can't shop here for the items they need. And we need to change that. We've got that big old dog track sitting there. We're not making a dime off that. Let's put some businesses out there.
Any of the rest of you want to answer that question? What is the biggest challenge facing Commerce City?
Yeah, I'd like to answer
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Steve, I think you were,
Okay.
Steve Douglas,
Yeah, I'd like to
Steve Davis.
just,
Steve Davis.
oh, the other Steve? Okay. I
I'll
would just like
let
to,
both of you do it.
at the same time.
No, Steve Davis, you start.
You know, Gene's right. Without economic development, we can build all the houses we want, but people aren't going to have anywhere to go. You look at Northfield and you look at Brighton, and that's where we all go to eat, and that's where all of our kids go to eat and go to for entertainment. We don't have any movie theaters. We don't have any bowling alleys. And I understand that some people are against the economic development growth, at least on the south end, but that also includes in historic Commerce City. I mean, we need to make sure that we bring in retail stores that are going to stay here. And we need to make sure that we do that development the right way before we start building all these houses, because we can build all the houses in the world and we're not going to make any money off of that. Thank you.
Steve?
Yes, you know, the challenges right now, especially in the northern portion of Commerce City, is the mill levy is as high as 216, and the mill levies in the south are on just below 100 mills. So we really have financial challenges. We have these exclusionary zones, which doesn't allow people to move where they want to because of cost. So I think our biggest challenge is taking down those walls. I know the Northern Heirs was constructed back in the early 2000s. We had an opportunity there not to build a Northern Heir with metro districts, just as we do here. It would have been a slower process, but things would have looked a lot different. So our challenges right now is bringing in opportunities for affordability. It is very challenging here for people in order to stay here. It's very challenging because the cost of living here and what you, as far as jobs, do not match up.
Okay. Ramon, would you like to answer that question also?
May I answer a previous question?
Sure.
Okay. My plan for the Latino community.
Oh, that's good.
Tenemos que educar a nuestra familia. Tenemos que comenzar con nuestros hijos, dar la educación que es necesaria para que avancen en la sociedad. Eso comienza con los padres que tienen que involucrar y tomar el tiempo para educar a los estudiantes, a sus hijos. Es lo que pasó conmigo. O sea, si mis padres no fuesen a ayudarme en las tareas, ir a las reuniones de las escuelas, no hubiéramos estado aquí yo y mis hermanos. Entonces tenemos que comenzar una educación a nuestros hijos. Let me translate real quick. We have to start educating our Latin kids. The parents need to be more involved going to reunions, going to the school, showing up. And they also need to spend the time. I understand sometimes they work 2 jobs, but they have to make the effort to be part of their kids' education and find the way. That's what happened to me, and that's why I'm here today. Thank you.
Roger, as Commerce City continues to grow, how will you work with council and staff to protect and support community members who are struggling to afford housing in the city?
That's a great question. One of the things that we have to do is, as several colleagues have said, we have to rein in metro districts. We have to move away from metro districts. This most current council, just as recently ago as about 2 months ago, approved another 16 metro districts in the North Range, all of them over the cap for mill levy in Commerce City. And there was not one dissenting vote on council for that proposal. We have to rein in metro districts. We have to lower taxes. We have to make sure that we have affordable housing for everyone and inclusiveness for everyone.
Okay. Who have I left out?
This whole side?
Okay. Renee? How would you work and collaborate around improving educational and career opportunities for our youth?
The career opportunities for our youth is one thing that I stress, that everyone doesn't have to go to college. There are ample opportunities out there for students to go to technical schools and have a technical trade, and instead of piling up debt in college, they come out with, when their college friends get out of college, they've already are making $100,000 on their own. I believe that people should follow their dream and not be pushed into something that someone else wants for them. We have 2 school districts here that are basically cooperating and working to make our students better. What we have to do as a council is get behind them and give them all the support that this city can do to make both school districts successful.
Okay. June, with all the growth present and future in the school district, what could the city do to help get money to pay for needed schools?
Well, I think it's a collaboration between the schools and the city and even the businesses. I know that, when we can try to get the development to be responsible growth, especially like on the dog track, I would like to see more of the business end expanded on the proposed plan there, because 200 housetops are really going to be taxing on Central and Kearney Middle School. So I would like for the city to modify that plan and work with the school district, and hoping that we could come to some kind of agreement for the land and maybe even help with the trade school that was supposed to be on there.
Okay. Maria, do you have any philosophies regarding planet Earth?
We must maintain our Earth with everybody's best interest into making sure that it is safe. We only have one. And if we don't do our best every single day to recycle and care for our water and our air and be active in policy that prevents negative situations with our planet, then who are we? Those are part of our values that are learned at home, of taking care of things that belong to us, of family members that belong to us, and opportunities that we have to do anything that we want in this earth. I'd like to address too how everybody's talking about businesses. I have been a business owner for 13 years. I know so many of the challenges. Ask businesses why they don't come to our community, our taxes, our infrastructure, our red tape. I have the courage to work and develop economic development opportunities that will meet our growing business needs.
John, how would you work and collaborate around improving educational and career opportunities? I think I asked that one already, but if you'd rather answer another one, that's fine.
As far as educational opportunities for youth and career opportunities, I agree largely with what Renee said. College is not the right path for everyone. College directly out of high school is not the right path for everyone that wants to go to college. The opportunities for internships, for apprenticeships, for training in the trades needs to be promoted. There are plenty of positions within the city where those kinds of internships may be able to be fostered as well, and encouraging the departments to be able to collaborate and support those kinds of things, I think would help in that direction.
Now, did I miss anybody on this second round?
Yes.
Lucy?
You missed
And
three.
me.
Oh.
Yeah, you missed two.
Jennifer, right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jennifer and Lucy's.
Okay, Lucy, I'm at the end of my questions here, but let me see if I can find one for you. Oh, that's for her. Mhm. Well, is there any one that you would like to?
I'll do the planet.
address?
My philosophy on the planet, all I could say is really, God bless you, everybody. Muchas gracias. Dios los bendiga a todos. If we don't save this planet, we won't be able to do any of those things, really. We are destroying our planet. It is not just the air we breathe, it's the water we drink and the food that we eat. That is, that's protecting ourselves. So protecting the planet really is like, it should be our priority. I believe Commerce City should be an example. We could be pioneers. We could be leaders right now in renewable energy. We could be pioneers. We could be leaders. As we were leaders in the past in different industries, we could now be leaders in protecting this planet. We will not be able. Science has already proven, it's even biblical. So we need to protect this planet, taking care of recycling, all this stuff. So then really, again, if we don't protect our planet, we won't be able to do any of these things. Gracias.
Okay. And Jennifer?
Yeah.
What are the candidates' plans to tackle the extremely high taxes experienced by those that live in the metro districts?
I think that involves communicating with the residents and all the city council together, and with the city manager, city employees, and basically using our governmental resources that are out there for us to find ways to get the issues addressed. But mainly, like I said, the guidance of the current city council, getting the residents all involved, and basically going from there at that direction.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else I missed in that second round? I think it's time for, okay.
No, we're good.
Oh, okay.
I already talked, but I'd like to talk.
Go ahead.
If I could just backtrack on the apprentice. I'm the school district 14, Adams School 14. I'm a supporter of them. They've been through a really rough time in the last year. I've actually went down to Lester Arnold, where they're a second chance school, and watched the work they do. I personally don't believe they've got the support of this council that they should have down in that part of town, and they do amazing things. Even up here on the south end with our Cup coffee shop over here in Reunion, where they have apprentices working there that are graduates of that school that are going out into the world to do things. I think that this council and future councils need to put more stock into District 14 and the hard work that they've done in the past, because they've gotten some black eyes, I think, that were not deserved. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes.
I would,
Okay, Renee?
I would like to answer that question on transportation where you were asking, and backing up to what June said about transportation in this city. We're about to lose our 62 bus route. And it's a bus route that the city and DRCOG put together through a grant. And they don't think that it is profitable in this city, that it's not doing enough ridership. Just this week, we read in the paper where RTD is spending so much money on their light rail routes and everything that they are forsaking their bus routes. They say they don't have enough drivers for the buses and everything. And I say that's just an excuse. If it takes anybody 2 hours to drive, to get from down here to up there, which is a 15-minute ride in a car, something is wrong. What we need to do is invest in...
You can finish your sentence.
Invest in our transportation and put RTD on the spot and tell them that don't take away transportation from us, improve it, and bring the costs down.
Anybody else? Yes.
I just wanted to add about the district, Adams 14. I am part of the DAC. I'm part of the District Accountability and Advisory Committee. I've been involved in my district for many, many years. I have 2 kids in this district. We are, this is a serious matter that Adams 14 has been going through. We almost lost our only high school last year, if you guys didn't know. So we fought privatization of our district. So Adams 14 district does need a lot of help and a lot of support. Our children are there, and it is right. Education is the number one need that we need to promote here in Commerce City. We need to unite. We need to have a better relationship between the district and the city council. We've seen that lose that trust the last few years. So I do encourage everybody to get involved and check out what's going on. We now have an external management operator, which we paid $8 million, and we still need to fix our bathrooms. So, thank you.
Okay, Benjamin?
Thank you, ma'am. You know, everything I hear up here is a dichotomy. We talk about the need for more transportation, we talk about the need for more infrastructure, but then the next sentence that comes out is we got to lower our taxes. We got to do something about our sales tax. We got to do something about these metro districts. We have to rein in all this spending. We have a lot of projects that are in the queue that we just don't have money for. Flyovers at 104th and 120th Avenue over 85 in the railroad. The infrastructure that needs to take place down here in the south. We have more requirements than we physically have the money for. But at the same time, we're leveraged. Our credit card is maxed out. The previous councils have put this city, when you combine the 2K bonds, when you combine the general fund obligation, you combine the GIDs, at nearly $500 million in debt. So we don't have bondholders to go out there and say, can we get some more? And if we do, are we going to raise taxes that much more? It's a dichotomy, and the challenge going forward for whoever is elected is, how do we balance those needs for the money that we have available?
You want to start?
Can I speak to an issue?
Paul?
Yes. Going back to the RTD issue, there is a lack of drivers, and RTD is not making that up. It's real. The unemployment rate is approximately 3%, and we cannot, I say we because I'm an old RTD director, RTD cannot keep drivers because there's too many jobs out there, and the workers are competing with other industries. And the Route 62 had low ridership. It's not just that RTD wants it to go away. The ridership is real low. We at RTD had to measure ridership based on population density. And if there wasn't enough population density, then it would not justify the use of a bus and a driver. And if people aren't riding the bus, it doesn't justify spending the money on the bus and the transportation through the city. So the city needs to jumpstart a campaign to get people to get out of their cars and jump on the bus.
May I also comment?
Okay.
I wanted to quickly piggyback on Benjamin's comments. And not only is it a tall order to lower taxes, but also increase amenities. But I think, whoever is elected to council, it's time to put down the walls and reach across the aisle. This is a nonpartisan position, but it's really important to work together as a team for the betterment of our community rather than against each other for our own personal and special interests.
Okay, we're going to start the closing remarks. Start at this end. And each one of you will get a minute, and you get to 30 seconds. Each one of you will get to mention whatever you want to mention. Yeah. We'll do a minute. Okay, let's start with Gabriel. A minute for your closing remarks.
I just want to... Susan with the assist. All right. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. I know it's a big deal to come out. I think that's one of the parts that I've been motivated at most, is seeing how many people were getting out to all the forums and the smaller forums. So again, I just want to impress upon you that I'm here to try to make great decisions for the city, not for special interests, not for big companies. I understand that it's difficult, but I want your input, and I want you guys to be here to help us make those decisions. And I want us to listen to those decisions, or those suggestions that you all make, because I think a lot of times, again, we make those suggestions, and we need to start making that change towards a different future. And again, I think a big part of that is the oil and gas. If we can make a radical change there and be an example for the entire state, the entire country, it'd be incredible if we can go in that green direction and create those jobs. A technical college where we train all of our kids, all of our next generations to work on those types of industries. So thank you very much.
Susan?
This is our closing? Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, and thank you all for being here. In the 2010 comprehensive plan for the city, there was a commitment to end greenhouse emissions. This was in the city of Commerce City. If we don't take action today, it is a questionable future. How do we attract the businesses that we're talking about? How do we attract the people to come here that we're talking about if we create a Commerce City that is industrial only from stem to stern? Whether it's north or south, we'll have Suncor, the Arsenal, and oil and gas activity in the north. I want to see clean air, clean water, and clean government in Commerce City. 18 months ago, I started an organization, North Range Concerned Citizens. It's a coalition of 30 subdivisions of residents. We work for the community, and that's what I'd like to do. I look forward to your vote. Thank you.
Megan.
I didn't get a chance to talk about oil and gas yet this evening, and I just want to make a really brief comment. I think a lot of people know that I work in the industry, and I'm really proud of that. And I know that we need to work towards a change in energy sources, but that's going to be a transition over a really long period of time. And I think it's important to know that technology today has allowed operators to work towards zero emission operations. I work for a company who has a zero emission facility, and knowing and understanding and learning about what this industry can do is really important in terms of making the decisions going forward for what that looks like in Commerce City. And then I want to just close by saying I think we've become a very divisive society, not just in Commerce City, but all over the world. And it's time to stop attacking one another. It's easy to attack from behind a keyboard, but it's time to reach across and shake hands and start working together for future development for our community. And let's do that together. And I'd appreciate your vote.
Okay, thank you. Paul.
Thank you. I envision responsible growth that addresses future construction and expansion and scrutinizes the creation of metro districts and money that goes to developers and how it affects raising the mill levy and property taxes. When developing a growing city, the process is necessary, yet must be accountable and transparent. Additionally, now that the regional operating agreement with oil and gas has been passed, there must be explicit rules written that regulate fracking within the city. We must have a balance between oil and gas jobs and community health. Without health, we have nothing. We don't have a city. A lot of residents don't want to come back to Commerce City after they're educated because they don't like the pollution, they don't like the industrial aspect of the city. They don't like the tale of two cities, the north against the south. The south primarily gets lesser services than the north, even though the north has higher taxes. I'm running, okay.
Okay, Mike.
Okay, I'd like to finish the two others of the three things I would like to see done in office in my term. I would really like to see the air quality be addressed. Specifically, you know, Suncor burning a little cleaner. To be honest, you know, again, I drive for a living, and when I get to a certain part of Commerce City, it burns my nose. It burns my nose. And when I get stuck behind some of the big rigs, and I see the stack of smoke coming out, we've got to find a new emissions control, you know, to regulate them at. Another thing is the recycling. We need to do something about our landfill. Our landfill is growing and growing every day and rendering that space useless for future generations. We need a cleaner, better recycling.
Benjamin?
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank everybody in the audience for coming, taking part in this part of democracy, as well as everybody watching at home. I really want to thank all the candidates that are up here with me. I made a commitment a couple months ago that I wasn't going to take any attacks against any candidates. I wasn't going to make any negative comments against them because I commend their desire to put themselves out there and try to make a difference for our community. I think it's important that we have people that, even though we disagree on ideas on how we get things done, that they're willing to subject themselves to the hate, the vile, the vitriol that comes your way. So I thank every one of you for coming out here and putting yourself out here like this. We all want the same thing. We all want to improve transportation. We all want to improve education. We all want to improve health and safety. We all want to improve public safety. The list goes down. Every single candidate up here has the same exact ideas. At the same time, we all want to reduce taxes. At the same time, we all want this to be an affordable place to live. At the end of the day, ask yourself, are you happy with the direction Commerce City is in now? And if not, it's time for a new dawn in Commerce City. Thank you.
Dean?
I want to talk about experience. I spent 12 years going to every single council meeting, every single study session in their completeness. That's over 500 council meetings, 500 study sessions. Available time. I'm retired. I got plenty of time to work on this job. It would be my primary job. Longtime resident. I stuck it out here for 40 years. Raised my family here. I've operated a number of businesses, operating businesses right today. I think people need to get a good look at your candidates. I'm ramped up. I'm ready to go. This is not my first time around. It's my 7th time asking for people to look at me and give me the opportunity to help your city. I also heard a lot talk about metro districts. I think they're picking the pockets of the residents. We don't really need to do that. Makes it hard for people to stay here. I don't like that. Recycling, I'm an original member of the Commerce City Citizens for Recycling. Thank you.
Okay. Steve?
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming out and listening to us. It's very important. And I thank my daughters for being here as well. Commerce City is at a tipping point. You can either stay with the status quo, only to benefit from the outsiders, or you can choose to take the path that provides you with much more than anyone can imagine. It's time to show the folks who not believe in Commerce City who we are. You know, I started out talking about not being silent on climate change, clean water, Suncor emissions. People have to understand you have the power to turn Commerce City around. You need to be involved. I've been here for 8 years, and I appreciate people coming in, talking to council, talk to me here. I have the pleasure of working in Commerce City as well. To continue that, make sure you put the pressure on your council members, because these seats are not, this is not my seat. This seat is your seat. And as elected official, I'm working for you. Everyone should be working in your behalf, not their own. Thank you.
Ramon?
Well, thank you, everybody, again, for coming out. I want to answer a couple questions. What is the role of council member? One of the roles is oversight, for sure. And so I actually just sent an email over to our finance department because there was an error on the CAFRs. That's the type of person I am. I read very detailed. Decision-making. I make decisions every single day, complex decisions. The ideal Commerce City for me is in phases. Education, we educate our kids, we create great jobs, and we have retire with dignity. What qualifies me for this type of role is I have 20+ years of financial and business experience. I've dealt with a lot of complex issues and problems. As a deputy director for the Colorado Department of Revenue, I read policy. That's one of my jobs. I have to read policy, and I put the financials behind that policy. So therefore, it would be a privilege to serve you, and I hope you want a new way of thinking here in our city. Thank you.
Roger?
So first off, I want to once again thank everyone for coming. This is a bigger turnout than I've seen for city council meetings. And so I think that's amazing, the engagement that is here tonight. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for moderating. Thank you very much for doing a wonderful job. Thank all of the folks that are also watching. But most importantly, thank everybody up here. But friends, I want us to remember that we have some serious issues facing this upcoming council. We must elect representatives that will work for all of Commerce City, not just special interest groups, not just the ones that are financing campaigns. We must elect representatives that will listen. We have to elect council members who will listen to their constituents, listen to other council members, and who will not engage in unfriendly discourse, but rather understand an opposing viewpoint, whether that is from their constituents or from other council members. Thank you, and I appreciate your support in November.
Jennifer?
Yes. I would also like to thank everyone who showed up tonight and everyone watching from their homes. I greatly appreciate you taking the time. Once again, I'm running for Commerce City Council Ward 2. One thing that I really, along with a healthy environment, one thing I would like to accomplish is to make sure that all of the Commerce City employees receive health insurance when they retire. I think this is a big, strong necessity in Commerce City, and I want to unite Commerce City and be proud of Commerce City. Like I said, I've been here all my life, 48 years, and continuously counting in the same house. I know what it takes to be a Commerce City council person. My father was the first African-American Commerce City councilman, so I know what it takes to be a Commerce City council person, and I'm also Commerce City made and Commerce City strong. Thank you, and I really appreciate for everyone coming out. Thank you.
Steve?
I want to thank everybody as well. I look out into the audience, and when I sit up here as a councilman, I'm amazed when I look out there and see the people gave their time up to come and try to make a change and try to help us make a change. And every one of you are amazing to me that you're here tonight giving your time up. With that said, there's 3 council members that I work with currently in this room, Councilman Huesman, Councilman Steve Douglas, and Councilman Guardiola that's sitting in the back, that have taught me a lot in 18 months. And I respect all of them immensely. They are amazing people. And every person sitting up here tonight, I could work with any one of these people. This is an amazing group to be sitting up here, and I'm honored. Thank you.
Okay, Renee?
Thank you. I would like to also thank the citizens of Commerce City, and I would like to thank all of you here in the audience and the League of Women Voters for moderating this. These are the facts. The next council will have a council of every member will have 2 years or less on the next council. I'm the only council that has that experience. I have 10 years as a councilman and 6 years as mayor pro tem. There will need to be a steady hand at the wheel in order to build coalitions throughout the metro area. I've also already built those coalitions and relationships throughout the metro area. I would like to have a council, again, I say, that has the courage to do the impossible. Anybody can pick up the fruit off the ground. We want to go for the fruit that's higher in the tree. I will be devoted to make our community better, and in this mayor's race, which I'm running for, history matters, experience matters, and integrity matters.
Okay, Lucy.
Muchas gracias a todos. Thank you so much. God bless you all. While many working families in my community are forced to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet, big corporations have found the pot of gold at the end of the taxpayer rainbow in Commerce City. We face not only environmental but economic oppression for many years. I'm running with the heart of a mother. As a mother, to protect the education of my children, to protect the living conditions of my children as well as yours. A mother does everything without discrimination and sacrifice. So I am running with the heart of a mother to protect my children's future and your children's future. We have our elderly, our children are the most vulnerable people in our communities, which are the most affected. Again, my name is Lucy Molina. I ask you for your vote. I am running for candidate at large. God bless you. Gracias.
June?
As I've walked the streets of Ward 2, I just want to let the people that I've talked to know that I'm listening to your concerns, the concerns for, bringing in more businesses and like the residential, not just the restaurants and the entertainment venues, about the roads and the safety and the maintenance of them, and also of the public health and safety in dealing with the issues surrounding that homeless population that is coming into our city. I want to be that strong voice for you on city council. I know that I've sat down with you, I've talked with you, I've taken that time, and like I said, I just want to be that strong voice for you so that we can get these issues completed and move on to make a better community for all of us. Thank you.
Maria?
Thank you, everybody, for coming in tonight. It is important that we move forward with the direction of new leadership. I want to be your mayor to restore community pride through outreach, inclusion, sense of belonging, and ownership. I want to be your mayor to advocate for a quality of life for all through better air quality, through safety, enforcement, caring for one another. I want to be your mayor that supports and empowers current and new business opportunity so that we have successful and sustainable economic development. I want to be your mayor that makes a priority in education, all the way from preschool, kindergarten, all the way to high school, professional education and trade. I want to make sure that as a mayor, I listen and we work together on important issues that matter, and that we take action today, not tomorrow, so that we plan for the next 30 years out and have a strong foundation of what is needed and how can we move forward. I am the only woman in this race. Woman, it took so much to get our right to vote. Please vote for Maria Gonzalez for mayor on November 5th. Thank you.
John?
There was a question earlier about qualification for being on city council. And I think that some of my greatest qualifications are the humility to understand that I don't have all of the answers. But because I'm a lifelong learner, I listen and I collaborate with people. I have the capacity to be able to work with people to come up with creative solutions. And that's one of the things that I would like to bring to the council. In closing, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for moderating this and keeping this running smoothly. I very much want to thank everyone who attended and everyone who's taken the time to watch at home, to be an informed voter, and to participate in our civic process. It only works when people show up and vote. And I would very much appreciate your vote on November 5th. Thank you very much.
We got a lot of good questions up here from the audience. If I tried to ask some of them, touch on some of them, If you didn't get your question answered to the audience, try to find somebody up here afterward and ask them a question. On behalf of the League of Women Voters, Commerce City Business and Professional Association, Cultivando, and Commerce City Chamber of Commerce, thank you again for joining us this evening and helping inform voters in advance of the November 5 election. Let's give our candidates one last round of applause. Please stay and enjoy refreshments afterward and interact with the candidates in the atrium. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Do we take this?